Do you ever feel hurried or too busy as an artist or creator? Have you felt disconnected from your craft? Do you have feelings of inadequacy and imposter syndrome? I struggled with this early on in my years as a watercolor artist. I thoroughly enjoyed creating, but there were times when I felt like no one appreciated my work, I wasn't good enough, and that I should give up. But everything changed when I discovered how to practice self-care through mindfulness. Hi there, my name is Audrey and I'm a watercolor artist. I've been an educator for over 10 years and have been teaching on Skillshare since 2017. You may recognize my loose floral style and wreath paintings. I love to help students let go of their perfectionism and gain confidence through their skills. Now, today might be a hard day for some of you because we're going to confront some of the negativity that we face, particularly as artists and creatives. But as we do that, we're also going to acknowledge the positives and grow from this experience. First, let's set up our workspace. Grab a sheet of watercolor paper, a 5x7 sheet or larger will do, your brush, paint, water, paper towel, and a pen. So this is what I painted as an example, but I'm going to use a smaller piece of paper for today's practice. Basically, we're first going to paint lines using various values and colors. Value refers to the relative lightness or darkness of a color. Now you can choose whatever colors you want to do. You can do one color or multiple colors. In general though, try to use slightly lighter colors so that we can write on top of it. Now on the left side here, I put down the negative thoughts. Perhaps it's imposter syndrome. Maybe someone told me when I was younger that I could never be an artist. Now, a lot of the negativity that we face are rooted in fear. And one way to face that negativity is by developing positive alternatives. So that's why I have two columns of horizontal lines. So in the left column is a negative, and then the positive alternatives are on the right side. Basically, doing this exercise is going to help you start shifting your mindset from, letting the negative fear hold you back and using the positive alternatives to move forward. So let me share a few of mine. You don't have a distinct art style. And my positive alternative is that I've evolved since my early days of painting. And now I can describe my work as loose and elegant. The negative, you didn't go to art school and you don't know what real art is. The positive alternative is that art is expressed from within, and technique is something that can be learned outside of the four walls of a school. So those are just some of my examples. So think about that as we paint now. As we paint, remember to breathe calmly and observe your brush and feel your hand connected to it, and as if it's an extension of your fingers. I'm going to use a reddish color on the left and a greenish color on the right. So again, just make sure that you're in a comfortable sitting position. Anytime your brush hits the water, you're just being mindful and thinking about that, and just move slowly. Don't rush this process. I'm picking up my red paint. Now to play around with value, you want to make sure that there isn't a lot of water mixed in with your paint. So I'm picking up paint directly from the palette, and if I do that, then the paint's going to be pretty dark. Now these lines don't have to be perfect at all. They don't have to be straight. They don't have to be a certain width. They can be however you like. So this is a pretty dark value. So if you want to get a lighter value, simply take your brush, wash it out just a little bit, blot just for half a second, and then come up right against that again. And then now you have a lighter line. So keep doing this until you fill out that entire column. Now again, as you're doing this process, just move slowly and be thinking. Using my size 6 round brush. Remember to breathe. Let's go ahead and do the second column. And again, as I'm doing this, I'm really trying to connect to my brush. Notice how the paint is entering the brush, leaving the brush, etc. Now, before we start writing, we need to wait for the paint to completely dry. So you can speed up this process with a hairdryer if you'd like, or go do a different activity, do a breathing exercise, whatever you want to do while you're waiting. Either way, go ahead and pause here and go do that and come back when your paint is dry. Welcome back. Let's finish today's exercise by writing out the negative beliefs on the left and the positive alternatives on the right. As you do this, remember that the negative beliefs don't define you. They're rooted in fear and they can be overcome. Moving forward, try to commit the positive alternatives to memory so that you can remind yourself from time to time. Let's go ahead and do that now. Grab your permanent pen and take your time with this exercise. So for this first one, I wrote, artists can't make a decent living. We've all heard that phrase, starving artists. So for the positive alternative, I'm going to write, I'm more than an artist. I'm an educator, an entrepreneur. Go ahead and write out a few more. You don't have to fill out the whole page. Just write down as many negative beliefs as you can that really seem to hit you at your core. Good job. Now, what can you do with this? Well, you can post it onto your inspirational board, like I have in the back here. You can take a picture of it and make it a desktop wallpaper. The important thing is that you remind yourself of the positive alternatives.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of our latest videos.